Well, I mentioned that you had relatives back there, and how are they doing?
The people in Tonga are still the main. There are only 3 villages on this island. 2 of the villages now have water. 1 of them still does not have water. Part of the problem there is that now the smell of all the marine laughing plants that are decaying is now becoming a problem. They're living in tents with kerosene lamps. They're camping.
How did they get tents?
I think the first, they went 4 days without, it's such a remote island, they couldn't get there. And so they had a French freighter that came from Tahiti over to bring supplies to Tonga. So they brought tents, and the Red Cross has been helping them.
How are your relatives and family members doing?
Well, right now they're doing good. God is taking care of them. I talk with my parents every day now. The phone line, sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. But I talk to them every day now. And FEMA's there now. Red Cross is there now. And they're helping a lot. And also, some of the families from the village, the middle of the island, weren't affected. That's how they're getting help. We also have families from, the middle of the island. They're helping out. The village that where my parents are staying. My parents are ministers, so the village that they were at got wiped out. So the only problem is maybe the dust, and it's too dusty out there. But so far, all I know is, from my point of view, God is taking care of them.
Okay. Sam, how are your relatives doing?
My relatives are doing okay with the help of God and also with the community. Our village in Leone is one of the most village that got hit. It's a population of over 3,000 people. It's about 12 people who died from this tsunami, and also still missing people. And also Pango, which is the harbor, which is the capital of American Samoa. And on the other hand, Samoa, which is an independent state, it's a heavily hit area by the tsunami. And every time I look at the television, and thanks to the CNN for great coverage and the media, the tears come out of my eyes, because these people are they're thirsty. They're up in the mountains, and they weren't expecting this to happen. So they're questioning all kinds of stuff. So all kinds of help is on its way, but it's a lot of homeless. The government is trying their best to help with, burial, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. How are your relatives doing?
My mom's from Western Samoa, Lalomanu and Malaila, which are the 2 villages that were both wiped out with the tsunami. And she actually had 9 fatalities and 5 miracle stories. My 2-month-old cousin was swept out of her mother's arms and was saved by a man till this day. Is unknown. They don't know who he is. And then her sister, it's her cousin, his wife went missing with her 4 kids. She was 7 months pregnant, and a man had dug a hole and put them in there, and was found Monday night, almost a week after the tsunami had hit.
The 4 children?
Yes, with their mother. And a house had fallen on this hole. And when the guys came to clean up the debris from the house, they had heard a woman's cry, and they lifted up the house, and it was my mom's cousin. Her 4 children were just lying so weakly around her, and she was holding her mother that had passed.
Oh dear. So somebody dug a hole. When did the person dig the hole?
They don't know who. She doesn't know who the man was. They think possibly it was the same man that had saved my 2-month-old cousin. So till this day, they still don't know who this man is. They were just thankful to him for saving them. They're in the hospital right now, recovering from lack of water and food for almost being in that hole for a week.
A whole week?
Yes.
They were in the hole?
They were just found Monday night.
Oh. So you said there were 9 fatalities in
Yes.
your family?
Yes. 2 aunties and then 1 uncle, and the rest were cousins.
So how is your family coping?
My mom's really having a hard time dealing with it. And then my dad lost a cousin in American Samoa. She was 70 years old, and she was at work, and I guess she works at a senior home, and she ran from there to cover in Spencer's store, and they found her the day after the tsunami had hit in the debris.